Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to another video of Smite. This time it is Assault and I have randomed Bastet, who is the Egyptian goddess of cats. She is a melee assassin character and you'll probably know not my best characters, not my class of choice, but she's considered to be one of the better assassins, mainly because of her pounce ability, which a lot of people consider to be overpowered because it gives her an awful lot of movement and the ability to get in, do a lot of damage and get out. It's a fairly evenly matched team. We actually have Ymir on both sides, we have a Thor on both sides, and we also have a Neith on both sides. I'm just going to start by buying my gear. I think buying Meditation into Salvation in Assault is always a good idea, simply because you can't return to base and it's a good way for everyone to have some healing ability. But other than that, it is mainly just down to attack power and attack speed. So Bastet is a relatively simple character to play. Her passive ability is called Open Wounds, which essentially means whenever I use an ability on an enemy, they get wounded for 3 seconds. If I hit them again with another ability while they're wounded, they take an extra 15% damage, and that removes the wound. My number one ability is the Pounce ability that I mentioned. It allows me to leap forward quite a considerable distance. As I land, I'll do a fair bit of damage to everyone around where I land. And then if I hit the button again within a few seconds, I can actually jump back to where I jumped from. So it's a very good escape tool. I also have my Declaw, which is my third ability. There goes my Pounce, so I can pounce in, do a bit of damage, and then I can pounce back out. So my Declaw allows me to throw a claw at the enemy. If it hits them, it actually does some damage and causes a slow. I also have a Razor Whip, which is my second ability. The Razor Whip is a sort of a frontal cone thing that actually does some bleed damage. It puts the bleed on them. And then you also saw my cat call there, which is my ultimate ability. It allows me to cause those little cats that are currently chasing down Guan Yu. Now they do a fair bit of damage, but they will prioritize targets that have a bleed on them. So if I hit anybody with Razor Whip first and then pop my ultimate will target them. So we're only 20 seconds in. The first creep wave's only just arrived in the lane and we are already 2-1 for kills. And I did get a slight assist in there. Got to be careful. There's no hard crowd control in either of these groups, except with well, no, there is no hard crowd control. Obviously, Ymir has his little slowing ability on his ultimate, and Anhur has his totem ability, which does slow people down, but not as bad as being up against someone like Hades or Ares, so didn't feel the need for beads. I'm tending to not use sprints so much these days and going more for things like blink and creeping curse or enfeebling curse to slow the enemy team down as opposed to speeding myself up, because I think being able to slow the enemy team, if someone's chasing you, yes, you can sprint away from them, but it's just as effective to slow them down, assuming they don't have some sort of way of countering your crowd control. But being able to slow them down is also useful when you're chasing after them, because you can stop them from getting away from you. So I'm looking for an opportunity to go in with the Pounce. I know I'm quite squishy, which is why I'm staying at the back. I use my Declaw on Ymir to try and slow him down. I fire off my cat call with the last of my mana. Don't really get anywhere with it, but it does force them back under their tower. And of course the cats will quite happily tower dive, and they are taking a bit of fire from the tower. So they are doubling as a bit of an extra push on creeps. Just trying to get a bit of mana back in the hope that I can do something. I still tend to... I don't use auto-buy anymore. I do manually buy my items, but at the same time as I go in with the Razor Whip, I still use the auto-level abilities most of the time. And for Bastet, it auto-levels Razor Whip first. It's probably her most damaging ability. Still looking for that opportunity to pounce in, but obviously I need to make sure that I can get out safely. So I try and chase down Ymir. Realise I'm not going to get him, pounce back out, although we do pick up the kill. However, their Neith also gets the kill on our Apollo. Was trying to get Anhur there, but realised he was a little bit out of range. I didn't want to dive him under the tower, so I thought, well, I'll just go in and start mopping up the creep wave. Bastet has quite a lot of fast attack, so she's actually really good for mopping up creep waves. Normally, unless it's late game, when the gods become really, really powerful and can one-hit creeps, it's usually very difficult for the melee classes to actually be able to take out creep waves unless they've got some kind of cleave or AoE that hits multiple mobs at once. But because of Bastet's high damage and quite fast attack rate, she's pretty good at doing that. So in goes the D-Claw onto Ymir, just to try and slow him down. It did stop him from coming forwards into the fight right there. He did get in eventually. Off goes his ulti. I just managed to get clear of that. And Ymir picks up the kill on there. Ymir, I got an assist, so I can take that away quite happily. Looking to go in with the D-Claw, I do manage to miss everybody. We are 6 kills for 3, so the team's doing well just after the 3-minute mark. I've got 4 assists out of those 6 kills. Still no kills or deaths for me personally. Now, I must point out that this is the first time I have ever used Bastet as well. I think I may actually have used her once or twice in the alpha, but we're talking well over a year ago. And I think she's actually been changed quite a bit since then, so for all intents and purposes, this is the first time that I've actually played as Bastet. So again, I'm just lurking around at the back. I don't really have an awful lot of mana to do much, so I've got to be careful. Looking at going in for the pounce, but realise I probably won't be able to do enough damage to kill anybody, and it's just going to be suicide. So I start sort of looking for a position where I can use my D-Claw, fire it off, and do manage to hit Thor with it. We see Neith's ulti come in there on our Neith, and she does actually manage to get the kill. I pounce in on Thor because I see that he's a little bit isolated. I start to get attacked by Guan Yu, hit my pounce ability and jump right back under the tower. And that's the thing that makes Bastet so powerful, the ability to get in and then just escape so easily. I believe it is actually being changed at some point, if it hasn't been already, so that she isn't immune to crowd control effects while she does that, because she can jump into the middle of someone's ulti and then literally do some damage and jump out of it again. So maybe it is a little bit overpowered. So Thor kills Thor on their side. Their Neith kills our Apollo, and we are fast running out of allies. Their HiRez quite low on health, so I'm keeping my eye on him. I do think I actually hit him there with that D-Claw. It's a little bit difficult to tell exactly who that did hit. But at the moment, it is only myself, Ymir, and I think there's one other. Yeah, Neith in the lane at the moment. Thor and Apollo are both dead. So I'm still just trying to find my feet with this character. I'm sort of juggling for position. I don't want to end up putting I know I haven't got any kills, and as an assassin I should be getting kills, but I also don't want to feed. I know feeding is not really as important of an issue in things like Assault and Arena, but if I go in and just keep dying and dying, I'm giving the enemy team more gold, and I'm losing gold myself, and it's taking me longer to get gold and longer to level up. So I'm trying to be careful and not do stupid things, although I do take quite a few hits from there. Decide to pop my healing potion. I've got no mana, so at this point I also pop the mana potion as well. I figure, well, if I'm going to go out, I might as well go out doing something. I pounce in on there, Ymir. Ymir's in there as well. I see HiRez crowd control go down, so I instantly jump back out. I go in with the Razor Claw on Guan Yu. Just miss him because our own Thor's little rock wall comes in and blocks me there. I see that Ymir is quite low. I go in for the attacks on Ymir and actually get my first kill. A little bit of a kill steal there, but I was literally just getting in and doing as much damage as I could on a low health target. I see 2 very low people at the back. I try to run in to drop my cats on them. You see the amazing range that you actually have there on that pounce. I do get the assist on HiRez that Neith manages to get the kill from. Probably my cats did some damage. I get my D-Claw off and actually managed to hit Neith with it at quite a good distance. So almost back up to full health and full mana at this point as well. I go in with my claw, with my pounce. I actually managed to get Neith and Thor by diving under the tower and then pouncing back out again before the tower does too much damage to me. So there we go. Within the space of 1 minute, I've actually picked up 3 kills. Now, admittedly, those were people on low health, but at the end of the day, on modes like this and Arena, I know a lot of people talk about things like kill stealing. The important thing is that the other team dies. You know, I've seen many times where I've seen a fight between one person on one team and one person on another, and somebody else doesn't get involved because they don't want to kill steal, and their teammate ends up dying. And you think, if you'd have just gone in and risked kill stealing, then you'd have saved your teammate. So, you know, if I see an opportunity to try and get a kill, I'll try and get the kill. I don't care who gets it. I don't care if I get it. I don't care if my teammate gets it. As long as our team gets the kill, that's the important thing. So we're still trying to mop up these creep waves. The fight hasn't really moved from the middle. They haven't got under our tower yet, which is good. The fight has been very aggressive on our side. We have pretty much kept them pinned down under their own tower, which isn't always a good thing because it means it's more and more difficult to actually attack them because they have the protection of their tower. And also, if we push our creeps under the tower constantly, then our creeps get annihilated by their tower, and their creeps then come out into the middle of the lane that we have to take out. So that is quite similar to pretty much any MOBA game. Anything like sort of you know, League of Legends or Dota, is if you are fighting and push the lanes too far forward under your opponent's tower, it does make it more difficult for you. See Neith charging up her ulti there. I think she was going to go on Ymir, but he has far too much health for her to be able to take him down with that. I mean, he is a tank after all. I'm very, very low on mana, so I decide to run in, pop off my ulti, and run out. Even if I don't get any kills, which I'm unlikely to, I'll probably get an assist or two here, simply for the amount of damage that those cats are doing. They're fairly focused on Guan Yu there, and he was having a little bit of trouble fighting them off. I thought Ymir was going to go in and get the kill, but he didn't. There Ymir's trying to take down our Neith. I go in and basically fire off everything that I have got. Get caught in the middle of all of that, but I do manage to hit my pounce and get out just as Thor hits me with his hammer and kills me. But I've got almost 4,500 gold to spend now that I am back at base, so time to get some more health potions and mana potions. Time to get my... Actually went for the greater meditation this time. Not too bothered about the health. I would sooner have the mana because I used the mana, you know, I used quite a lot of mana. And I'm going for my Queen size as well. Also decide to spend an extra 300 and just upgrade my sprint. Just watching Apollo here because I think to myself, well, he could be buying items. But the thing is, in this mode of the game, you tend to usually buy items while you're dead. Like I've just done. I'm waiting to respawn and I get straight back into the fight. I'm looking at Apollo, who's only level 9 compared to the rest of us, and looking at Apollo and thinking, is he AFK? Has he actually left the fight? I've not seen him leave the fountain for a while, as I try and dive on Neith. I mean, she's under our tower, so she does have to be careful. Our Apollo does eventually come in, which was nice of him to get involved in the fight, just in time to, well, let's be honest, steal the kill. He was just sort of sitting there waiting for that one, but at least she's dead. That's the important thing. So we're 14 kills for 11. We've been 3 kills ahead for a while, but we're at the 10-minute mark. We're not getting an amazing lead here, as our Apollo is now trying to dive under the tower. Still doesn't manage to get the kill on Anher. I go in with my ulti. Our Neith gets the kill on Ymir. I get an assist. And this is a perfect opportunity to attack the tower because there's some minions in there. So we've got our first tower. I go in with a Razor Whip on the creep wave. And that creep wave gets annihilated. Our Neith also picks up a kill on there and her. So we're now 5 kills ahead, which is quite nice. We've got some good time to get in here and start attacking this tower before anybody else arrives. And there's their second tower before anyone could even respond. So in goes with my pounce into the middle of the creep wave. As I said, the pounce itself does actually do some AoE damage as I land, so it is a useful tool for doing a bit of burst damage on landing. In with the declaw on Guan Yu, which slowed him down nicely for him doing that very annoying move. And now, as usual, everyone's just posturing at the base of the Phoenix, trying to do as much damage as they're possible without getting too hurt. Fire off my declaw at Thor there in the hope of slowing him down enough so that our Thor survived. Unfortunately, Neith got him with her ulti. I then try and go in on Guan Yu to slow him down as much as possible. Decide to fire off my ulti. I thought if they've got to deal with my cats, maybe it'll slow them down a little bit, but their Ymir does pick off our Apollo. Our Ymir picks off their Thor as their Neith picks off our Ymir. And now it's just myself and Neith alive on our team, while the opposing team has their Guan Yu and her Ymir and Neith up. So we do have to be careful. Neith got herself into trouble because she decided to turn around and try and get a cheeky shot in, which you shouldn't really do when you're retreating. To be fair, when you're retreating, you shouldn't really turn around to see what's behind you, but I know I do it as well, but you should just try and get to the safety of your own tower, try and defend. I go in with the pounce to try and do a bit of damage and then pounce back out. It was enough to get them all turning around and looking in different directions and get them a little bit confused. It meant we could get the creep wave mopped up, so they can't actually safely come under the tower. They're going to try. I mean, they're high enough level now to be able to tank the tower somewhat, but I go in, do some damage, pounce back out again. Our Thor's just turned up behind me. He's going airborne, so I'm just going to deal with the creep wave. Thor drops in behind them and actually takes out their Guan Yu, who was low health. So we have lost our tower now. So we do have to be a little bit careful. Mir's popping his ultimate, but everyone gets clear of it. I decide to pounce in. Didn't quite make it because he was running away. Did get a nice hit on their Neith. I think I popped off my ultimate and I'm hitting every button I've got. Do manage to get the kill on Neith with auto attacks. Amir's quite low health. I'm going in with the auto attacks as well. Pick up the kill on Amir for the double kill. And now starting to mop up the creep wave. So at the 13-minute mark, I'm on 5 kills for 1 death with 10 assists. I'll take that for my first play of an assassin character. In I go with another pounce, which helps Amir get the kill on Thor. As I then try and mop up the creep wave because I'm further forward. Don't have an awful lot of mana, so I do have to be careful what I'm doing. They've got someone there on very low health, which turns out to be HiRez, as Apollo manages to pick up the kill on him. And we are 1 creep wave away from getting up to their Phoenix. So we just need to wait for our creep wave to arrive, except Amir decides he's going to go in and tank the Phoenix anyway. He actually could have done at that point. Amir could have quite happily just sat under the Phoenix and let everybody else attack it. The creep wave is in there now, so we should be okay, although Guan Yu is in there sort of turning them into kibble, so we need to sort him out. I go in with the pounce, I do miss, I go in with the razor whip and then pounce back out. Still take a hit from the tower, because once it fires a shot at you, it tracks you wherever you go. But the middle Phoenix is now down, so everyone is going on Guan Yu. He tries to escape on his horse, and Amir puts up his ice wall to slow him down, but he still manages to get away. I pounce in, realise that I've just pounced in to the middle of the entire enemy team, and pounce straight back out before doing anything. So now everyone's going to posture around under the Titan in the hope the Titan will help defend them. Their Guan Yu is spinning around like crazy. I run in with my Razor Whip and try and do damage to the whole team. Our Neith picks up the kill on their Guan Yu. I see that their Amir is firing off his ultimate, so decide to get out of that. Neith hits me with her ulti, which takes me down to very low health. I try my best to escape. I've got lots of stuff in the way, including Thor's wall. I jump out using my pounce and manage to survive with barely any of my health remaining. 5 kills, 1 death, and 12 assists. A lot of our guys are on very low health, although Neith does manage to pick up a sneaky kill on Thor, though the Shin gets taken out by their Neith. So Amir is on very, very low health. That's our Amir. Their Ymir is also on low health, but not as low as ours. Their Ymir does actually die, though, as their Neith picks up the kill on our Apollo, which I get another assist for. I then dive in and manage to get a kill on HiRez, as their Neith picks up the kill on our Ymir. I'm now going toe-to-toe with Neith, which was a really stupid idea, given the fact that she's a hunter with incredible burst damage, and that is our entire team dead. On the plus side, they only have their Guan Yu and Neith up, so they shouldn't be able to do too much damage, as I buy a couple of extra potions and buy my Queen Size and start to work towards my rage. Now, at this point, I've actually got myself about 1,000 gold or more, and I can probably afford to buy another part of an item, which I probably should have done. I don't think I can actually afford to buy my rage in its totality before I actually get out of the fountain here. But given that the game probably wasn't going to last too much longer, it might have been more sensible to spend the money I had on another lower tier item than trying to save up for the bigger tier item. Once again, I see that Apollo is just standing around here in the fountain. I mean, he could literally just be buying items, but, you know, he's level 15 compared to the rest of us, who are all level 20 apart from Thor. And Thor has died a few times, and I figure, you know, whatever Apollo's doing, he's not really getting involved in fights. He just turn up here as I pounce in and get the kill on their Thor. So another cheeky kill steal. In goes my ulti just to cause some havoc. Our Neith picks up the kill on their Neith. I do throw in my declaw. Not sure I got anyone with it, but I do run in with the Razor Whip and manage to get a bit of a bleed effect on everybody. Amir fires his ulti. I do manage to get out of it because it's not hard crowd control. I then dive in with my pounce and pick up the kill on Ymir. It's looking good so far. 8 kills to 2 deaths with 14 assists. Apollo is actually in the fight, although not doing an awful lot. I wonder if it's worth trying to chase these guys down, because Ymir is actually ahead of them. I use my declaw on Guan Yu to stop him catching up with our Ymir. Then I throw everything I've got. I go with the Razor Whip. I pounce in on him. He's got very low health. He's healing. Ymir puts up his ice wall. I don't know why I pounce backwards. I am an idiot. I could have probably finished him off there if I was careful. The Phoenix had respawned by this point, but it only had very low health, so that was easy to take out. We are now under their Titan. Of course, they only have 2 dead heroes at the moment, so we've still got to be very, very careful here. I'm focusing on Guan Yu because he's very, very low health. Their Titan's coming after me, so I try and declaw. I miss. I use my pounce to try and escape, using my Razor Whip on Thor on the way out. Neith does pick up the kill, but I get the assist. I'm taking quite a few hits, so I decide to mop up the creep wave here. Very low health at the moment. I can see our Thor going in. I'm literally just firing off everything that I've got. In goes the Razor Whip to try and do some damage, and the Titan goes down. So, for a class that I'm not very good with, 8 kills and only 2 deaths with 15 assists, I would have liked to have been a little bit more active in that game and actually done a little bit more to contribute and actually help the team out. But 30 kills to 20 kills on the team side, and I think we won that fairly easily. We did lose both of our towers, but all in all, it was a good game. So that is Bastet, the Egyptian goddess of cats. I hope you're still enjoying this series, and I will continue to upload them. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.